Jason's talking about it. There are no breaks on bold takes here. Buckle up. This is Drive Time with DeRusha. Now, live from Minnesota's biggest microphone, here's Jason DeRusha.
We're talking grocery stores to get things started. I was at the grocery store and it just had me thinking about like how sort of stuck in my ways I am about what I want, what I love, what I hate. Prices, I think, is the number one thing people are hating right now. But what do you weigh in on? What is the number one issue when you go to the grocery store? It's Jason. Welcome to Drive Time. Part of why I wanted to start with this today is sort of an acknowledgement by one of the biggest hometown grocery chains today that what they were doing wasn't working. Cub fired their CEO, who had only been there for about 2 years, and replaced him today with a guy who had been running Coburn's, which you guys in kind of St. Cloud and Elk River, you guys know Coburn's. He's been the CEO there for a year or so. But like, I don't really care who the CEO is of the grocery store, but I sure do go to the literal same store almost all the time. For me, number one is the produce. That's the number one thing for me. I want the produce section to look like a freaking museum. Now, I do understand that is like the absolute opposite of the freak out that people are doing about grocery store prices. 651-461-9226. We notice those prices. Susie was just telling me that she sees it at the grocery store right now. The network news just a second ago is talking about tariffs in Switzerland, and we're going to be worried about the cost of watches and chocolate. I got to be honest, I'm going to be all right moving on from my Swiss chocolates and my Swatch. What are we doing? Is this what we're worried about? I don't even know. I wonder, and I'd love to get your feedback at 651-461-9226. Prices versus literally anything else. When it comes to choosing your grocery store, are you looking for the best deal or is it other stuff? I feel like grocery stores is maybe the most personal relationship with a store that I have. And I don't know if it's because I go so often and we go to the grocery store. Every Sunday we go, and then usually it's another time during the week. Simon, who is watching or listening on X, says all the people that complain about the self-checkouts is a top issue. Yeah, people really. I'm fine with the self-checkout. I'm fine. Waiting in line at the deli counter. So I have another grocery store pet peeve that involves the deli counter. And I'll get to that in a minute. Let's go to Jonathan in Minneapolis on the CCO Talk and Text line. Jonathan, you are on CCO. Number one thing, biggest thing when you think about going to the grocery store.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Hello, Jason. Hello, Dan.
Hello, John.
I love when I call in and Dan just goes, hold on, and puts me through. It's my favorite thing.
You called it, when you call often enough, you get VIP treatment. So let the rest of you be on notice. That's how it goes.
Exactly. So let me get to the point. My least favorite thing that I need to do is go to the grocery store.
You hate it?
I hate it. It's like I would rather have a root canal with no Novocaine than get into a bus, go for an hour. I literally cannot stand to look at coffee prices right now. You know, before President Trump started, coffee prices were $6.99 per little bag. They are now $15. The rounders are now $22.50.
Yeah. Coffee
And
prices
you
are
wonder why
brutal.
I'm crazy?
Are you blaming Donald Trump for coffee prices? I mean, I love the nonsense
Yes.
of that, but come
Yes, I really am because
Yeah.
I kid you not, Jason. I love my morning coffee like everybody
on. Yeah,
else.
me too.
But if I have to pay $22.50 for a little freaking rounder
I know.
of coffee,
You know what happened to
and
me
then I
this
have to-
morning, Jonathan? I'm making my coffee. I didn't sleep that great last night. I'm like, you know what? This day is going to turn around. I am going to have a great cup of homemade coffee. And so I am a nerd and I weigh out my beans and I grind the beans and I put it in the coffee maker and I hit the
oh,
start.
you're high maintenance.
I am high maintenance. And I hit the start button. And then I go slice up some strawberries because I have some strawberries with my breakfast. And
Okay.
then I sit down. And then I hear the sound of coffee dripping all over the countertop
Uh-oh.
because I did not put the coffee pot underneath.
Yeah.
One job to do. You had one job to do.
So
One
then I
job,
get
Jason,
up.
come on.
Then I get up to quickly grab the paper towels to clean up this mess as it's developing and grab the pot.
Right.
And while I go to grab it, I slam the palm of my hand into the knife that I was using to slice the strawberries. Now I'm bleeding.
Oh,
There's
my
coffee
Lanta.
all over the place. And you're like, I just
God.
want to go back to bed and start this day over. Could we just have a do-over?
That was a $6 cup of coffee that you just ruined, number one. Number two, your day is going to get better because you've got to talk to me. And I think at some point during the state fair, I am going to come this year, and I think at some point we should get together and run and do some videos and do some like taste testing. I also want to tell you, it is gorgeous outside, and this is the first day of the nicest summer that we've had yet. So go out there, put your YouTube channel on, your earphones, and go for a walk. So watch out.
All right. Now you're getting carried away. Thank you, Jonathan. You know, you give a guy an inch, and then and off it goes. 651-461-9226. Cleanliness is bigger to me than prices.
That's interesting.
I'll still purchase that expensive coffee no matter what. I think a lot of people are by that. Where the you know when you pay $1 more or $2 more, that's still like less than going out to eat. It feels like, okay, I want to feel good when I'm going through the store. You have your favorite Cub, right?
Yeah, there's a Cub store near where I live that I go to.
So like if the new guy's listening, new CEO is listening, like what matters to you?
What matters to me is one, reasonable prices. It's not like, are there places you can get stuff cheaper than where I shop? Probably. But I also know there's places that it's a heck of a lot more expensive. So I need reasonable prices. And I also have to have what I feel is like a comfortable layout to the store. Is stuff in places where it makes sense to be, or do I got to go hunting all over the place to try and find what it is I need? Now, part of it is, I've just been shopping at the store for so long now. I know, I can almost walk it in my sleep, but I have it down to a point where I can get into that store, go and get the 20 items that I need for my weekly shopping and be out of that store via the self-checkout in less than 15 minutes. I mean, in, out, done. I want it convenient. I want to know where the stuff is that I need. Let me get the stuff and get out. That's the most important thing to me is just efficiency, because the last thing I want to do is be wasting a bunch of time in the grocery store.
Yeah, my wife is very particular about like which Target store she goes to because she knows the layout and she knows where stuff is. And whenever I'm like, oh, why don't we just go to this? Because I don't care about that.
Sure.
But I can see the anxiety creeping up whenever I make her go to some other store.
There's another Cub in St. Louis Park that I don't go to specifically because I don't like their layout, because it's too cloistered when you first walk in, and where you're getting to is on the other end of the store. Most of it just doesn't make sense to me layout wise.
This is interesting. A texter says, I've had to stop going to the deli altogether, especially for prepared salads. Boy, I will say I have noticed those prices going up. And maybe it's because it's on like a big sign in front of the product where you notice it more. I don't know. But the prepared salads, the texter says those are up between $2 and $4 a pound. I've noticed it on lunch meat for sure. Like with the kids home this summer, we've been buying more lunch meat for, Seth's a working man. He's working out in Hanover at a manufacturing plant. He's got to take like a brown bag lunch. Get your sandwich, get your chips. Yeah, and I didn't mean to say, so on the Trump and the tariffs issue, I didn't mean to say that the tariffs aren't causing any of the price increases at grocery stores. But we've been talking about coffee prices going up for a long time, well before the tariffs. Tariffs contribute, no doubt about it. But climate change really has affected coffee because it only grows coffee and chocolate, despite what the Swiss want you to believe. Like those beans grow in a very narrow sort of area. And so climate change does affect that. We'll break. If you want to weigh in more on the groceries issue, you can do that. A little breaking news out of Minneapolis over the last couple of minutes. We'll talk about that, too, when we come back.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-220-6409 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-220-6409. That's 800-220-6409. What do you have to lose? Call 800-220-6409. Again, 800-220-6409.
A picture is worth 1,000 words. And if you want to sell your home for the most money possible, the right exterior photographs can get you thousands of dollars more. Contact my friend, the Good Neighbor agent, John Schuster of the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty. If you're thinking about selling your home next year, those pictures might be taken in the winter, and your home is just not going to look as warm and inviting if there's snow on the ground. This month only, John will send out his professional exterior photographer, and it's going to let you show off your home while your lawn and garden are looking their best. No out-of-pocket costs. Also, a free staging consultation if you sign up this month. No obligation to hire John to sell your home either. You should, but he'll still be a good neighbor and help you out even if you choose someone else. Contact John, 952-222-9000 online, johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. johnschustergroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1 day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's four walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
When my business was taking off, our old phone system just wasn't cutting it. We needed fewer missed calls, more flexibility, and better visibility into customer conversations. That's when I found OpenPhone.
OpenPhone is the all-in-one system for small businesses and growing teams. Manage multiple numbers from one device, work seamlessly as a team with shared numbers, and stay organized with AI-powered call transcripts, summaries, and next steps, so nothing gets missed and your team responds faster. OpenPhone integrates with tools you already use, like Slack, HubSpot, and Zapier, so everything's connected and efficient.
Having tried just about every relevant small business phone system, Open Phone is truly in a league of its own. It's now essential to how we run our business, and I couldn't be happier with the value it brings.
See why over 60,000 businesses trust OpenPhone. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. openphone.com/TRY.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always, and I mean always, on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Twins Ticket Tuesday is today. You know, go meet the new kids in the bullpen this Saturday night. We got a 4-pack of tickets for this Saturday night against the Kansas City Royals. 6:10 start. And the first 5,000 fans get a Native American heritage baseball bat, courtesy of Treasure Island, the Prairie Island Indian community.
Have you seen that thing yet?
Yeah.
It looks cool.
It's cool. It is cool. So that's pretty neat. You want to get there early then. So 6 p.m., they open her up, an hour and a half early on
Something
weekends,
like that,
I
yeah.
think. So you can get there early. Oh, and Saturday they do that like 612 bit also, where like you can get a $6 beer, I think. So if you go early, like have a good time. If you keep listening to the show between now and 5 o'clock, at some point we'll play that Win Twins sound effect. And you call in. Caller number 3 gets 4-pack of tickets. Pretty good. I'm going to the game on Friday. Why not? Why not? Couple more grocery comments, and then I'll update you on what's going on. You know, I really think that for my impression, not backed by data, our groceries in Minnesota are more expensive than like when I go home to Chicago. And go home. Oh no, did I just say that? When I go visit my parents.
No, we know that you're not one of us, so that's fine.
I've only lived here for 22 years. When I go back to Chicago, it's cheaper. When I go to LA, I think like, I don't know that the groceries are that much more expensive than they are here. You know, if I were telling the new CEO of Cub, like Cub is closer to me. I'm right by a Cub, a Lunds and Byerly's. And then like, I don't love going to Target or Walmart for groceries. I like going to the grocery store. And I've tried, like the Aldi fans are like fanatics. Not for me. Aldi's not for me. I don't want to pay $0.25 to get the cart. I don't want to put my groceries in a cardboard box. It's a no for me. What would make Cub better? I wish that they didn't pre-slice their deli meat. So this is my solution. This has got to be the crazy thing about being like the CEO of a grocery store, right? Because this sort of complaint, which is a DeRusha family complaint, I like to see the person who works at the deli slice the meat because it just feels fresher. It's in the thing, and then you slice the ham, and there's your ham. And I don't want it like, oh, they sliced it last night. And also don't mess with those Cub donuts. Do not mess with my donut.
Oh, yeah.
They're very good. They're very cheap. Don't mess with it. I don't know. That's about it for me. Cub's good.
I think you could do, that's not a rewards program, although they do have the bit with holiday gas that I use. But there's, if it's a loyalty card or however you want to phrase it, they do deals where if you have the card, you get a little bit more off. I think you could go even further into that to try. I think, obviously you reduce the price, you reduce your profit. But if you get somebody there on a longer term, in the long run, I think that's going to be beneficial.
Texter says Cub needs cleaner grocery carts. I get that. It's hard. Like you're competing with sort of the upscale, the Kowalski, the Whole Foods, and the Lunds. Well, it's a little tricky. Texter backing me up saying my kids live in Philly, New York, and D.C. Groceries here are very expensive, even when compared to those East Coast cities. Yeah, and to me, it doesn't make sense because like the big distribution center is right off of 169, right? Like right there in Minnetonka, kind of Hopkins area. Okay. The breaking news that came in from the city of Minneapolis is laughable. Headline: City seeks community feedback on 38th and Chicago pedestrian mall design concept. Wonderful.
It's about time we had citizens be able to have their input into what's going to happen there.
Now, the city has no choice because the way that the city's press release is written is very clear that they are doing what the city council said in response to a legislative directive from the Minneapolis City Council. The city's public works department is evaluating the feasibility of a pedestrian mall concept layout on Chicago Avenue between 37th and 38th Street. One of the true embarrassments for the city of Minneapolis in the aftermath of the murder of George Floyd, which was the ultimate embarrassment, in the response to the riots, which was another embarrassment. But the fact that it is August 5th, 2025, and we're going to start another BS community engagement process. I get that the reason George Floyd Square, I get how complicated 38th in Chicago is to move forward with, because you get 10 people over there and you're going to get 10 different ideas as to what it should be. I do not care what they do at this point. Action is what we need. It's reminiscent, and to me, this is a largely city council failure. And the failure is that police precinct is still, they're finally doing some exterior work to make it look a little better. But the last time I was over there a couple of weeks ago, it was still relatively boarded up, not being used. Ridiculous. And then 38th in Chicago is essentially like been taken over by self-appointed neighborhood advocates. And I'm sorry, this is no way to move forward. It isn't. So I'm glad we're having another community engagement, Dan.
One other little bit of breaking news we should mention as well. The Vikings have announced that the NFL has chosen to suspend wide receiver Jordan Addison for the first 3 games of the 2025 regular season for his violation of the NFL's substance abuse policy. He is permitted to participate in all training camp activities, including preseason games, without restriction, but then he will be suspended for those first 3 games of the regular season. That just breaking a few minutes ago.
And you knew
it's what was expected.
Yeah.
This wasn't a surprise to anybody, but it's now official. So now the Vikings have to deal with those first 3 games without their number 2 wide receiver.
Not great. That was expected. He pleaded in July no contest to lesser charge to resolve DUI from 2024. It is one of these things that I think those of us who are normies look at these athletes and look at the NFL and everything they've done to try to make it possible where players would never have a circumstance like this. They have a hotline. They can call a guy to come pick them up. They're rich. They don't have to drive themselves anywhere. But young people who are famous and rich make dumb choices. And 3-game suspension feels right, but as a fan, it does hurt. We're going to break in a minute. We're going to talk about whether Hennepin County should take over the hospital, HCMC, which is having major financial difficulties. We'll talk with one of the commissioners who just stepped out of a public meeting that just came to an end in a minute. Jeff Lundy in a minute here on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Heading out for the weekend? Lucky you.
Don't forget to stop at Thieler Meats of Pierce for some melt-in-your-mouth moments.
High-quality beef.
Fresh and smoked sausages and brats.
Home-smoked bacon.
All-natural chicken.
A great selection of fish and seafood.
Visit us at ThielenMeats.com.
We've got the cuts that'll make your meal.
Call to order ahead and pick up on your way to the lake.
You'll be the hit of the party.
No meals complete without Thieler Meats
of Pierce.
Accidents don't follow a playbook, but Postman Law has the winning strategy. We've helped clients recover over $3 billion by delivering personal attention and real results. Call 844-POSTMAN today, because when life throws you a curve, Postman delivers the compensation you deserve. Offices, Minneapolis.
Since 1991, Twins Community Fund has been changing lives across Twins territory. Anything is possible on this field. This is where magic happens. Something unexpected also happens here. Life, wrapped in the thrill of the game. This game teaches us how to swing for the fences, and how to strike out swinging with your head held high. We love this game. It's our legacy, powered by you. Get involved at twinscommunityfund.org.
Minnesota Twins Community Fund is supported in part by Cornerstone Partners, Target, U.S. Bank, Treasure Island Resort and Casino, Nike, and Uponor. We thank them for supporting youth baseball and softball throughout the upper Midwest. Get involved at twinscommunityfund.org.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
Big year. I'm starting middle school.
Welcome to the jungle, Missy.
Best part? My parents promised me a new laptop.
Perfect for homework, essays, and drudgery.
So we went to Staples. They had all the latest tech, and laptops were up to 40% off.
Woo! Another back-to-school budget saved by Staples Easy Button.
Mom high-fived the cashier. So embarrassing.
Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app. In Z23, select models only.
Lowe's knows when you're looking for reliability, the right brand makes all the difference. And now, Lowe's is the exclusive home improvement retailer for the Whirlpool water treatment line, including their Wi-Fi softener, under-sink filtration system, and more. With Whirlpool's proven performance and our everyday low prices, better tasting, better quality water is within reach. Shop pro-trusted brands like Whirlpool and more, in-store or online. Lowe's, we help, you save.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the as you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Hey friends, I'm Sharon McMahon, host of Here's Where It Gets Interesting. Each week I speak with authors, experts, and thought leaders on everything from American history and democracy to how to be a better person on the internet. And don't miss my extremely popular docuseries, which educate you on things you never learned in history class. Follow and listen to Here's Where It Gets Interesting on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
By Amber Scholl of Scholl & Associates, American Family Insurance. Single lane construction in place, 280 northbound near Kasota. Look for the right lane to be closed. Traffic is slow as you come up from I-94. If you're going to be traveling through 94 westbound, that's jammed right out of downtown Minneapolis. Heading out to Highway 100. West 94 slows as well as move past 280, heading over towards Cedar Avenue. Protect what matters most with Amber Scholl of Scholl & Associates with American Family Insurance. From your home to your car to your dreams, Amber Scholl and her team are here to help you every step of the way. Call Amber Scholl today at 651-738-4811. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Clogged gutters? Call the pros. Advantage Home Pros.
With the highest quality workmanship and materials, seamless gutter installation, cleaning, and covers, our trained, knowledgeable local pros can handle it all. Trust the pros. AdvantageHomePros.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast brought to you by Advantage Home Pros. Here is Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
Mostly cloudy sky tonight, 68 the overnight low. I'll be watching a line of showers with a few thunderstorms moving from west to east overnight. I think it's just scattered showers tomorrow morning here in the metro. Mostly cloudy by day, a few showers possible again late tomorrow night. 83 will be the high tomorrow, 88 and humid Thursday, 91 and humid on Friday.
Right now, it is probably the nicest day of the week, 81 and cloudy on CC.
Jason DeRusha.
I like it fast. I like it.
You like it to clip along.
Like, let it rip.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
It is the largest emergency department in our state, and it is in crisis. HCMC has money problems, big time. And just within the last couple of minutes, the Hennepin County Board wrapped up a public hearing, sort of struggling with this question of should the county take over the hospital to try to turn things around. One of the county commissioners who was in that hearing and has been thinking a lot about what the right thing to do here is with us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker hotline. Jeff Lundy is county commissioner, and Jeff is on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker hotline. Good to visit with you, Jeff.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
What, I guess, is as easily as you can, what is the case for the county to come in and take over Hennepin Healthcare or take over the hospital?
Yeah, I think, once upon a time, prior to 2007, it was a department within the county. And then in 2007, it became really, like, I would classify it as a wholly owned subsidiary, kind of having their own board of operations, their own, management structure, everything kind of like a separate subsidiary in the corporate terms. But there's always been the backstop has always been Hennepin County. As we like to say, any bill left unpaid, gets forwarded to our inbox. And so we've really reached the point the last few years, coming out of COVID, where the budgets aren't doing well. And I say that that's not just unique to our hospital. Every hospital, I think, in Minnesota and across the country are struggling. And so, but it's exacerbated here. And at the end of the day, the power to help fix this rests with the Board of Commissioners at Hennepin County.
What kind of passion did you hear from hospital leaders or community volunteers? Who all came and spoke at this hearing that started about 1:30 this afternoon?
Yeah, I think we heard very clearly from staff, from community who depend on that hospital. That is as you said, the last safety net hospital in the state of Minnesota. And frankly, it takes customers from the tri-state area all around us that, send people here that need, in time of care, they need specialized, like a burn unit, or somebody has an accident on a farm. And so we heard clearly from community leaders about the need to provide those services that it does.
Yeah, the need is clear, and the challenge, though, of course, is that HCMC takes care of a lot of people who don't have insurance or who don't have enough insurance. And so I suppose the question is, how is it better to have a board specifically focused on really a very difficult problem to solve, or is it better to have a board of elected officials who are also working on transportation and housing and the million other things that you guys work on the county level?
Yeah, I think what has occurred, why is it different now? I think that's a fair question. Is we've really hit the point where the enormity of the challenge has outstripped their ability to respond. Just a fact that fiscally they are near and long-term instability. That's going to require money. Where that money may or may not come from really falls on the commissioners. So, if it's your responsibility at the end of the day, we want to shorten that command structure. We want to be as close to the people in the operations as we can be. We can't have any surprises. The timing is critical. I mean, In about 7 weeks, we have to certify our max property tax levy, meaning here's the most that we may raise or however that number is set. That's it. We can't have any surprises after that, because come December, we can go down from that max levy, but we can't go up. And so we're at this moment where we have got to have an absolute true eyes wide open picture of the budget. And I think right now we haven't got that. We need that drastically so that we can deal with it.
Jeff Lundy is with us, Hennepin County Commissioner. We're talking about rescuing a hospital that is on life support to a certain degree. We know that the county, you guys already, and by you guys, I mean me and all of us who live in Hennepin County, are chipping in, about $40 million already to help kind of close the gap between, the cost of care and the cost of staff and all of that stuff. How much in the hole are they?
I think, I don't want to wager a guess, but I think if you add this year's budget and going into next year, you're looking closer, 60 to 80 million, maybe more. And that's if we do nothing. See, that's the key component. Doing nothing, we know where the hole gets bigger. There needs to be changes there. There needs to be, how can we look for savings? This board last December, my resolution, the board adopted, directed county staff to work with hospital staff to find savings and synergy. And, in April, May, the hospital board said, no, thanks. We got this. And that's not good enough. We need to have everyone together. There are savings that we can do. Is there mission creep? We need to determine some of the stuff that we may do may not be the stuff that we should be doing. We could refer outwards.
Is your sense that there could be better management of the hospital than what there is today? Or is this just a sort of a structural issue that has to do with the number of people who just are uninsured or underinsured?
Yeah, I think it could be all the above. I think there are opportunities to think differently. And sometimes when people have been in a situation, they always think the same way. I think we're going to be looking at how can we rethink all parts of the hospital. Hennepin County has a relationship with North Point, which is a care clinic that's really focused on people who don't have the ability to pay. Are there some of the hospital's clinics that would be better suited somewhere else? Are there other changes that we really need to make? And so we're going to find those things. And is there synergy? Do some of the stuff that we do as a county, could we save them money? A variety of things. There is savings to be had. Is it going to balance the budget magic? I wish.
Yeah.
I know that's not true.
Well, and North Memorial has talked about some of the challenges they've had. Pretty much every hospital in the state of Minnesota is dealing with this issue of under reimbursement and people who don't have insurance. And, looking at the federal approach to try to sort of send some of the costs for these things back to the state, it's not optimistic. I mean, it's not like there's a solution coming or there's a white knight coming in on a horse to save the day for HCMC.
No, and I don't think the board at all believes we are that white knight. But the moment has arrived. The situation's dire that we need to act. And so all those levers need to be pulled. We need to start getting people in there whose whole goal is not to try to manage decline, but to actually say, what do we do? What do we do best? Let's deliver on that. We are a safety net hospital, accept that identity, and then continue to move forward. Something I stress to people when we did call outs is this problem was coming irregardless of what the federal government did. Did the federal government and their changes make it easier for us? Nope. I would never say that. Did it make it harder? Yes. But these bills have been piling up for a number of years. They're an outcome of, after COVID, money got pulled back away. And so we've got to take these challenges on. There's no look back. There's no somebody else is going to help us. We're in, and that's okay. If, like you said, Hennepin County taxpayers, that is my fault. If we raise taxes, that's my responsibility. So I want my hands and eyes as clear as I can when it comes to the hospital.
Jeff Lundy is a Hennepin County Commissioner. What's the next step? When is there a vote on this happening?
Yep. So today it got progress, which means it gets pushed forward. So there'll be a vote next Tuesday, judging from the comments that all the commissioners that were present made. We need 5 votes. We need a supermajority to do the dissolution of their board, which would be then replaced by ourselves. There are the votes to have that, so I would expect that officially that will be done next Tuesday. We have already positioned staff. They've already started gathering information. We're not unaware of what's going on over there. What we want to see is where are the opportunities to save, do things differently. I think that's where we're going to cut through some of this stuff.
Jeff,
I just want to say there is no celebratory mood here. Like next Tuesday, it's like, oh, the world is better, the sky is blue. No, we've got tough challenges and tough decisions to make.
Yeah. I mean, if I were in your boat, to be honest, I'm not sure I want to have the direct responsibility for this. There's no easy solution to this sort of structural challenge. What are you doing to yourself, Jeff? Why just if right now you can blame this other board? Why are you taking it up?
Yeah, I think it's like anything. If you're going to have the hit, let's be involved, right? I'd rather be at the wheel than in the back screaming, "Look out! Turn here, turn there." But I think what's core and what I hope everyone hears is that the mission of the hospital is to be a safety net hospital. We care for people so that not just here, not just Hennepin, but statewide, outside of our state. We are going to do everything we can. We will make sure that hospital is open, mission driven, and try to work with everybody involved.
Jeff, I really appreciate it. Thanks for being with us. Next time we talk, can you get these Hennepin County workers to come back to work in downtown Minneapolis, please? Could you get on that?
On one insurmountable task at a time, sir.
Very good. Jeff, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
3:50, back in just a minute. I want to talk about, would you interview an AI just makes me mad. I'll talk about it in a minute.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
If you need to sell a house fast, there is one solution that I recommend. It's Jason here, and that solution is arms wide out. Bring them out. Do it right now. You got a house that you got to get rid of. You want to move on and have a fresh start in your life and move on immediately? Move on as fast as in 2 days. Put your arms out. Do it. Do the Lindahl. And then put your arms back in and go to that keyboard and get to chrislindahl.com. It's Jason here from my friend Chris Lindahl. You have seen the billboards. If you're driving or stuck in traffic right now, you might see Chris's face. You might see just his arms where it says fresh start fast. Chris is linked with the word guarantee. Why? Because a guaranteed cash offer gets you the finish line on a house sale in as little as 2 days. I was talking to Chris about this the other day. I knew the guaranteed cash offer was fast. I didn't know it was that fast. 2 days. If you want a fresh start when it comes to getting rid of a property, you don't want to deal with repairs or renovations or decluttering or interest rates up or down, you don't have time for surprises or delays, the guaranteed cash offer is the way. Get to chrislindahl.com. Get on a fast path to a fresh start. Get that guaranteed cash offer and start packing at chrislindahl.com.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius or two half geniuses and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
New month, new flavors. Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. I'm talking about those Sleep Night gummies. I know you love them, and they even have a new and improved Sleep Night gummy. But here's a twist. They got some new flavors. So, better sleep and some yummy new flavors. Great grape, green apple, snooze, and mellow mango in the nighttime blend. And of course, everybody loves the peaceful pineapple. That still exists in those sleep night gummies. Better sleep is the way to a better you. Mini Leaf can make that happen. I give these out to friends all the time. I recommend them for anybody who's having sleep troubles. You guys know they help me get off my Ambien. Really, these gummies help me get off a pharmaceutical. I hope they will do wonders for you. Here's how you get them. Minileaf.com. MINELEAF.com.
Mini Leaf means quality. Taste happy at minileaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
This special alert is for all Americans who own a vehicle. If you have a warranty that's about to expire or no warranty coverage at all, this message is for you. It's time to stop worrying about future car repairs today. Your vehicle is essential, but unexpected breakdowns can derail your plans and your wallet. It's time to future-proof your ride with CarShield. CarShield offers a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that saves drivers thousands from out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Imagine if your engine quits or your transmission fails. You could pay a fraction of the repair cost. This protection plan is at an all-time low, and to give you even more peace of mind, drivers who activate today also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Don't wait for a breakdown to drain your savings. Future-proof your car with CarShield today and drive with confidence. Call CarShield for your free quick quote. Call 800-220-6409. That's 800-220-6409. What do you have to lose? Call 800-220-6409. 800-220-6409. Again, 800-220-6409.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
280 northbound as you make way toward Casota Avenue, you're going to find some single-lane construction. However, crews are in the process of clearing the work zone, so everything should be opened up in the next 10, 15 minutes here. It is still slow, though, as you come up from I-94. West 94, that's jammed up, 280 into downtown Minneapolis. North 35E, not a bad ride. It's still a bit sluggish as you come up from University toward Wheelock Parkway, but overall not too bad. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jason DeRusha here. The Canopy Group represents 16 different insurance companies, not just one. They give you options. Each year, they'll review your program so you don't have to, making sure you get the best coverage of the best. Go to thecanopygroup.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast brought to you by the Canopy Group. Tonight, low of 68, pretty uneventful. Tomorrow, showers possible early. The day will be cloudy, and then showers possible late, high of 83, and then it heats up and gets humid as we get into the weekend. Right now, it's 81 and cloudy on CCO.
Hear about it, talk about it, add your voice to the mix. The CCO Talk and Text Line, 651-461-9226.
Mental health support and community engagement. We need to create safe spaces for conversations and connections, making sure everyone feels seen and heard. It's about building a culture of kindness and understanding. What do you think about that?
I think that's a great idea, Joaquin.
And I think that is totally fake and created by AI and incredibly creepy and weird. Jim Acosta, on his show, which, like, he's a former CNNer and has, like, an independent Substack, YouTube podcast show. Joaquin Oliver died in the Parkland school shooting in 2018. His parents created an AI version of their son. And look, I'm not going to judge how any family member decides that they want to cope. But we don't have to do it. We don't have to say yes. As a journalist, as a host, you can say no. No. I am not interviewing an AI character. And AI, again, like, this is just based on whatever has been written or it's ridiculous. It's a dangerous road to go down, I think. You want to practice with it behind the scenes, see what pops out, fine. But this is not a path I think we should be going down. Twins Ticket Tuesday. We will give away tickets over the next hour before Twins pregame at 5. CBS News coming up. Stick around.
Grown-ups, aren't Sundays more fun without, can I have screen time? Can I have a snack? I don't want to go to Grandma's. It smells funny. And I'm bored. Bored is impossible on Kids Day at Target Field. The Gate 34 lawn is turned into Bullseye's backyard. Kids' meals are half off. Kids 12 and under can run the bases after the game. And Grandma's invited too. Enjoy your weekend wind-up with Sunday Kids Days, presented by Target. Join in at twins.com/tickets.
Jim Clouk, a.k.a. Check-A-Pro Joe here. Tune in this Saturday at 11:30 a.m. for my show, the Check-A-Pro Radio Show. My expert guest this week is A1 Garage Door Service. For more information, go to checkapro.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Where strong opinions meet open minds. News Talk 830 WCCO 1029 HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul. Streaming live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Texas House Republicans hoped arrest warrants might convince Democrats to return to the state, but the standoff over redistricting continues.
It is evident to the chair that DPS will need some time to work, and we will try again to make quorum on Friday.
The redrawn congressional map sought by President Trump has put Texas and other states like California at the center of a national political power struggle. Election law contributor David Becker says it could leave a lot of Americans wondering who's looking out for their interests.
We have to remember, although these lines are being drawn, there are people within those lines. There are people who think they know who represents them, who know who they can petition if they need something from their government. And this constant shifting around of the lines effectively makes these people pawns where they don't really know who's going to represent them, all in the aim of maybe getting an additional seat and holding on to power in a very narrowly divided United States House.
A new FBI report says violent crimes in the U.S. were down last year. Anna Schechter has had a look at the numbers.
Murder and non-negligent manslaughter across the country, and remember, this is an average, it decreased by an estimate of 14.9% in 2024 when compared to the year before.
Smoke from the Canadian wildfires is blanketing much of the northern half of the country. Meteorologist Grant Gilmore is in Philadelphia.
That is a smoky haze that we're finding here in the city, a similar view everywhere across the Midwest, up into the Northeast, and places like New York City, finding a lot of smoke in the air.
A new federal law will make it easier for companies to use drones over longer distances out of sight of operators without having to get a waiver. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy today said it will greatly widen the use of drones.
The impact that it's going to have on manufacturing, on farming, on energy production, filmmaking, medical delivery. Industry needs this rule to make sure they can use this technology.
President Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff, is heading to Moscow to meet with Russian leaders tomorrow. Trump said within 24 hours, he'll announce new actions against India for buying Russian oil. Ukraine said today Indian components have been found in Russian drones. CBS's Olivia Gazis.
The Indian government has already indicated that no amount of U.S. pressure at the moment is going to change its decision to continue those purchases of Russian oil. It's very unlikely that curbing these exports of dual-use items, which is already difficult to enforce, will be met with any teeth.
On Wall Street today, stocks finished lower. The Nasdaq was off 61 points, 137 points rather. This is CBS.
Progressive Insurance. with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
Minnesota's trusted voice every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Cloudy skies, 81 degrees at 4:03. Good afternoon. I'm Susie Jones. Still no sign of a 12-year-old Minneapolis girl with type 1 diabetes missing since Saturday, and now an Amber Alert has been issued trying to locate her. Victoria Jackson was last seen about 9 o'clock Saturday night. She left her home on her own accord, and the family had spent the day at Minnehaha Falls, so that's where they concentrated efforts yesterday. Victoria's stepmom, Jackie Robinson.
We were there yesterday for about 12 hours. The cops came, they did a canvas, they did a flyover, they searched 3 times, they did heat drones. All of their efforts were unsuccessful. So at this time, they do not feel as though she is at Minnehaha Falls. So now we're bringing it back to just her community. She lives over here. We're focusing more on the neighborhood.
She says Victoria did not have what she needs with her to treat her illness, and there is growing fear that she may be unconscious somewhere. The Minneapolis City Council is responding to the city's auditor's findings on the city's involvement in a federal raid in June.
The report, which found no violations of existing city ordinances, has still prompted council members to call for a re-examination of the collaboration between local and federal law enforcement. Ward 9 council member Jason Chavez says it highlights the need for a stronger city separation ordinance and confirmed that ICE agents were present during the raid.
Anyone who says that we should not be spreading awareness that ICE was present is complicit with the out-of-control Trump administration. And anyone who said that elected officials spread misinformation should retract their statements. And I will publicly ask the chief to please retract his statement again.
The council says it's now focused on building more specific policies to address the gaps identified in the review. Taylor Rivera, News Talk 830 WCCO.
A public hearing today in Hennepin County to issue control of Hennepin County Medical Center. Board commissioners say the hospital's money situation is so bad they need to step in and take control of operations, which would mean getting rid of the Hennepin Healthcare Governing Board. Omar Mohammed is chair and spoke yesterday ahead of the hearing.
We have a financial problem. We do not have a governance problem. If the county thinks we have a governance problem, let them come out and say so.
We are hearing today from Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara for the first time about that police officer who shot and killed a man during a no-knock raid in 2022. O'Hara defended his decision to reassign Sergeant Mark Hanneman after it was learned that he was leading the department's use of force training.
At this point, it is a distraction to have him remain in this role, essentially as a political pawn as all this stuff is going on. And we are readjusting and figuring out how we're going to finish the last day of training.
He called the shooting of Amir Locke a tragedy. And finally, the Minnesota Vikings, some news there. Vikings Jordan Addison has been suspended for 3 games. The wide receiver will miss the first 3 games of the 2025 season after violating the NFL's substance of abuse policy. He is still allowed, though, to participate in all preseason activities. Jason DeRusha, I just want to tell you that I'm very excited for football season.
You're ready?
I'm turning the corner.
Are you going to be watching the preseason?
Yes, I will.
Our next guest is ready, too. He's already been at training camp twice.
Wow, I'm excited. I can't wait
He's
to listen.
not just an internet nerd. Like, he also likes the Vikings.
Well, how about that? A twofer.
Yeah, pretty good.
Let's do traffic and weather, shall we?
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Brought to you by Lyona, Minnesota. Visit buildthenorth.com. Single lane construction has been cleared to 80 northbound near Kasota. Minor slowdowns in that immediate area. East 94 jammed up. Lexington into downtown St. Paul. South 35E a slow ride. Maryland Avenue heading down to Victoria. If you're on 212, that's jammed up both directions between Eden Prairie Road and 494. Lyona, Minnesota reminds you to slow down when you see orange cones and yellow vests all year round. They're working to improve your infrastructure and build a better Minnesota for you. So please slow down, save lives, and keep construction workers safe. Brought to you by Lyona, Minnesota. Visit buildthenorth.com. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Clogged gutters? Call the pros. Advantage Home Pros.
With the highest quality workmanship and materials, seamless gutter installation, cleaning, and covers, our trained, knowledgeable local pros can handle it all. Trust the pros. AdvantageHomePros.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
It is brought to you by Advantage Home Pros. Experience the advantage at AdvantageHomePros.com. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
A line of showers with embedded thunderstorms will move across the state from west to east while we sleep tonight. 68 the overnight low. That line will weaken, leaving us with some scattered showers possible tomorrow morning. The rest of the day, mostly cloudy, 83, a bit humid. We could see a few showers pop later tomorrow night. For your Thursday, partly cloudy with a high of 88, still humid, all the way up to 91 on Friday.
Thank you, Chris. Right now, mostly cloudy, 81 degrees at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Your Twitter feed won't take your calls, but we will. News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRusha. Now, here's Jason DeRusha.
Maybe you guys should text in and help out this listener who said a client is in town from Austin, Texas. Free night tonight looking for a restaurant recommendation. Well, Uber anywhere. Happy to grab a seat at the bar. Where do you send? So that's your challenge at 651-461-9226. I have some ideas. I'll let you know at 4:30. And we're giving away Twins tickets today. We're giving away Twins tickets.
Not now.
But when you hear the Twins Win Twins sounder, call in and be caller 3. And those tickets are for Saturday night against Kansas City. Let's welcome our next guest to talk about, can you insult AI? Greg Swan explains the internet.
From viral chaos to tech, pretend to understand what's next. Let's find out. This is Greg Swan explains the internet.
Greg, if I insult that song, if I tell the machine that created that song, this sucks, you're an idiot, or worse, is there anything wrong with it?
I think that's what we need to figure out. Is that unethical? Is there a line? Can you be prejudiced against technology? Can you invent a slur for these things?
There's a term for this, and that term is clanker.
Ooh, we didn't get beeped. So
I'm allowed to say that?
I think we're okay.
All right. Why are ethicists struggling with this? The only struggle about this, sort of tangentially related that I've heard about, is this sort of energy related question on whether we should be thanking, like saying thank you to Alexa or thank you to ChatGPT, because that does require like the whole. So this is sort of like the next level of that question, but you're getting into kind of an interesting ethical area.
It really is. And think about how much technology is now into all of our lives to the point where we have frustrating moments with this technology, whether that is your phone's voice to text doesn't work, your Alexa in your home, like the timer doesn't go off for your frozen pizza, or your smart car doesn't start. And what's happening is there's starting to be some pushback, plus the AI thing, the idea that some of this technology could impact our livelihoods and our way of life. Yeah. We're starting to see some coalescing around pushback. And one of those things is this new word, which actually has a fascinating history of clanker. Where they're saying, you clanker, get out of my way. With imagine a delivery robot in the sidewalk in front of you, and you'd be like, clanker, get out of the way.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a fun robot like creating coffee or popcorn, handing it to you. You'd be like, oh, the clankers have taken our jobs. Now, in the future, we could look back and this entire episode could maybe get you and I canceled for using that language.
Using this term, because it, meanings of words change.
They change over time.
Yeah.
My kids would say this is not a thing and the media is making it a thing. And that the more that we talk about it, even today, are we making it happen? But Where does that word come from? It comes from Star Wars. Of course it comes from Star Wars.
Dan Cook was sitting there as our resident Star
He
Wars
knows.
nerd.
I knew.
And the clanker in the Star Wars was that what?
It's ironically, it's what the clone stormtroopers called the robot droid army figures.
Yeah. So
They call them
imagine
clankers.
in the heat of battle, and we've had this over generations, like you come up with derogatory phrases to call the enemy.
Sure.
That's what happened in Star Wars. Now that's being pulled forward into culture. And I think at first, ironically, as a nod to that is geek culture, and now maybe tipping over more into the mainstream as more people are feeling some of that. So one of the things we talked about on the podcast that I do with Jenny Swan, the K Project, is we really dove into the emotional side of that, of saying thank you, of being angry at your robot vacuum, of the idea of maybe part of your job was taken by this thing, and there's a real tension there. And also, I don't say thank you to my voice assistants.
I used to, and I don't now.
And maybe we should. I don't know.
Yeah. It is a funny thing in a way to think about, because like I have for sure like yelled at Siri before for like not answering me correctly. And my wife's car has like a smart thing that sometimes is dumb. And I guess on the face of it, it seems preposterous because I wouldn't treat a human that way.
No.
So who cares if I'm just yelling at a machine?
And yet, think about a robot dog, and we're a little scared of that. And also, if someone was kicking that robot dog, you would feel bad. We project humanity onto things, like almost like imagine your robot vacuum with googly eyes on it. You're gonna feel different. We give them names. We give our cars names.
True.
We give lots of things names. Why? Because we're personifying them. And so, is it only natural now, as the internet is progressing, as technology is progressing, for us to feel tension there and need a language to put them down? Unfortunately, I think so.
Really interesting. I don't know. I feel it is one of those things that we may look back on, right? Because part of the nature of being mean to robots is that part of the AI is that they're taking all of this in and learning from it. So you can take on one hand, you and me being mean to a robot, but we've also seen what happens when people are like anti-Semitic or racist to like Grok, the Twitter AI, or the Chat GPT. And that kind of disturbing things can happen as a result of that, right? So there are like real consequences to some of this.
There are, and unfortunately, racism, prejudice, discrimination is part of how the human experience. And now that the robots are more into our human experience, we're starting to put them in some of those same places. And today, there's not hate speech against that. There is not necessarily laws against that. In the future, some have said there could be like an AI or a robot like Bill of Rights and those sorts of things. I think we are very far away from that. And also, to me, these are those signals of where society is feeling some tension and saying that doesn't feel so good. And starting to center around some of this language is a signal of where those things could be going.
The texter says, I always say thank you to our future robot overlord.
Excellent. There's the karma approach.
That is the karma approach.
I'm gonna put in all the thank yous and everything now, so it's on the record.
I do it sometimes. I say thank you, and then since I've read about the energy waste that comes from that, now I've stopped doing it. But I guess this is part of when you have a nascent technology like that. We're always trying to figure out, like, all right, what am I supposed to do about it?
Yeah, well, and one of my
That's
favorite.
a good thing that we're struggling with.
I think so.
Yeah.
And I love thinking about Rosie the Robot from the Jetsons. It was only on for a couple of seasons. It impacted our idea of sci-fi so much.
True.
To have this home helper robot. Imagine not being polite to Rosie, not saying thank you, not treating her right. And there are new personal home helper robots that are coming to market right now, $5,000-$6,000, that will be able to do basic things in your home. We are years away, probably in January, coming out of the Consumer Electronics Show. I'll have some of those to share with you that are a little more affordable or realistic. But as those pieces of technology are further humanized, we assign emotion to them, and they're part of our lives, I would hope that we do have decorum with them, and that I would want them to treat me the same way.
I mean, I gotta believe that most of our audience is listening to this and just thinking, "What an absolute load!" Like it is because it is a little like it's a little preposterous.
It is,
right?
and yet when if you go search for clankers on the internet and start watching some of these videos, you're gonna see people really doing some damage to technology and these robots. And I think one of the, remember when they drained Mississippi River under the Orange Bridge and they found all those bird scooters?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, some people maybe threw the bird scooters in to, they don't believe in them or whatever, but also there was some real animosity about those things on our sidewalks and where they were. And I think that people often are trying to organize around or something that maybe they can't verbalize through actions. And some of the content that you'll find online around this term clankers is really disturbing. And it really shows that we are working through some stuff as a society when it comes to how technology is impacting our daily life.
Right, I did put a picture of Rosie up on the YouTube.
Bless her
story.
heart.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, you could never. Now, what I say to Siri, I would never say to Rosie.
Oh my gosh, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's break. It's 4:19. When we come back, we're going to talk about the age-gated internet, online anonymity, privacy. Are you, and I've had to do it, take a picture of my driver's license and then say a little prayer that someone doesn't steal this. What are you doing with these conundrums? We'll talk about that when we come back. Greg Swan explains the internet as we continue on a Tuesday afternoon.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Take what pork can do for you. It's Jason here from Minnesota Pork Board. Oh, man. Pork is so delicious. It is so easy. And it's really saying, hey, flavor is the main agenda. Minnesota Pork Board has been working so hard with 3,000 family farmers in every corner of the state to bring you safe, lean, high-protein pork. But what we're talking about now is just really getting back to basics. Part of the reason that pork is a part of my diet every week. And yeah, all those health benefits and nutrition and all of that is part of it. But the main reason is it's delicious. And I don't know, summertime, for me, it's hard to rate. You go rack of ribs, number one, and a pork chop on the grill, number two. Maybe you're taking ground pork. How are you working with that in your family? For inspiration, I go to mnpork.com. That is the website of the Minnesota Pork Board. So many different recipes from great dietitians, recipe developers all over the state. But the bottom line is you, by having a delicious meal, get to feel good too, because you are supporting a key part of Minnesota's economy. Go to that grocery store, go to the butcher shop, ask your butcher what pork can do for you. Let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
Most data breaches don't come from hackers. They come from old laptops and phones sitting in closets. Studies reveal that these neglected devices are a leading cause of data breaches. Recycling your electronics protects your data and the planet. At Electronics Recycling of Minnesota, we offer free, secure recycling services for both individuals and businesses, with certified data destruction options available as well. Protect your data. Protect the environment. Learn more at recyclemn.com.
So many of us look around our house and say it is time to downsize. That's exactly what Susan and Kevin Borowick did. They join us now. I want to ask you about the process of working with the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty, and your agent here in Evanston.
Well, it was just extremely smooth. We sat down, he did a market analysis for us so we could really develop a good pricing strategy. He sent out a staging consultant who helped us get things ready for showing. We just couldn't be happier. We received an offer, actually more than one offer, quite a bit over our asking price.
That's part of the whole Schuster Group difference, is that their marketing programs really target the right buyers. Did you feel that when they were going through the process with you?
Absolutely.
If someone is on the fence about hiring the Schuster Group, what would you tell them?
They greatly exceeded our expectations, and I would say you just cannot go wrong working with the Schuster Group.
Contact John Schuster of the John Schuster Group, 952-222-9000, online, johnschustergroup.com. Terms and conditions may apply.
Postman Law is about winning. If you've been hurt in a crash, on the job, or anywhere else, we fight to get you the most compensation possible. Over $3 billion recovered. Our track record speaks for itself. Call 844-POSTMAN. Postman delivers speed, ease, and results. Offices, Minneapolis.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-969-0686 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-969-0686. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-969-0686 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-969-0686.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha
I would rather have a root canal with no Novocaine.
on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Giving away Twins tickets today. The Twins gave away most of their team last week, so, still fun to go to the ballpark, right? Especially when it's free. 4 tickets for Saturday between now and 5 o'clock at some point.
Yeah, don't call now.
You'll hear that sound effect. Dan would hate it if you called now. But would you hear the sound effect? 651-461-9226 is the number to call. Greg Swan is with us. And I have noticed this, Greg, over the last kind of couple days, where there are more questions on websites about your age. And this is all because of the United Kingdom. A law in the UK. On the surface, literally no one is upset on the surface with the idea of keeping adult stuff away from kids.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of porn on the internet. And so the idea of requiring some ID, it on the surface makes a lot of sense. But what's the problem with it?
It does. Well, it goes to the idea of who decides and then how, and then also where does that information go? So you mentioned you have had to do, some of us have done, we have to hold your ID up next to your face.
Right.
You send it into some sort of secure process server. They theoretically are approving you and deleting that content. I think we've learned over the years some healthy skepticism.
Yeah.
Of where that content is.
Right.
And so
even the most secure, kind of well-respected sort of data handlers get hacked, make mistakes.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Yeah, of anything, I guess social security card would be the worst thing for people to get
Probably.
their hands on, but driver's license is pretty close.
Yeah,
so.
and I think, so we've lived in a generation where every person in your neighborhood's name and their address was printed in a book and put on your front step at least once a year.
Yes.
To the idea that your address, it unlocks, you can go to Zillow and see how much that person bought on their house. You can Google them and figure out who they're related to and what their name is. Like our privacy, it exists around the idea of who we are. And also the rise in AI is also making that sketchy too.
Mm.
So then we layer on top this idea of absolutely, we should be careful of kids and what they have access to. Absolutely.
Right.
Especially when it comes to adult
Easy.
sexual content.
Easy. Yeah.
No brainer. Who decides how far that goes? And I think that is where, again, there's some healthy skepticism of those in power globally, locally, where are we legislating things like their access to healthcare information, perhaps like identity information, or even like, let's say that I have a hobby that's niche, but it's not dirty.
Right.
Do I need to prove who I am to see that? And we're already seeing platforms like Tinder and Reddit start to step up and say, yes, to use these platforms, you're going to have to prove who you are. Now, Tinder is dating.
Fine. You
Fine.
see like some safety
Fine.
issues. Okay.
Reddit is overrun with trolls. And
It
also, that is a place if you are a person who's looking for your others and you can't find them regionally for forever since the birth of the internet, you've been able to go find your others on the internet. And so
through an anonymous gateway to be able to do that.
correct. And is there abuse sometimes? Yep.
Yeah.
But
isn't that the cost of freedom?
Is it abuse to withhold that from everyone? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And so who decides? And even in Minnesota, there has been proposed legislation to limit access to social media sites alone.
Yeah.
For letting those under 15 not have access to Instagram, for example. And so what we're seeing with
Roblox has added some age verification
correct.
as well.
So what we're seeing with this age-gated internet happening in the UK is really a signal where things are probably coming here, given where the administration is and where some of the wins are here, meaning the United States. I think that we're going to start to see different states make different choices, and then the platforms will make different choices. Just like many platforms pulled out of India or pulled out of Europe when there was overly stringent things,
right?
They may choose not to be here or maybe not to be in a specific state.
Politicians love this stuff because on a very surface level, it's incredibly attractive. Where you're like, yes, protect children. Yes, because most people are not trolls.
Yeah.
Most people are not engaged in this sort of hate speech on Reddit. So most people are like, this makes a lot of sense. So it's weird to be a good person and a positive participator on the internet saying like, well, I'm a little nervous about giving all this power to the tech company.
Yeah, and be like, oh, so what you're defending that children should see adult content is like, no, that's a wedge issue. Like, that's not what we're talking about.
That's not it.
What we are talking about, though, is there is a history of moral panics of especially young people or different people accessing things like books, different materials, the internet, and there's power involved in some of that. It's going to be fascinating because this is not going to slow down. And if you remember a couple months ago, I came in really excited because I got my irises scanned to prove that I'm a real person so that I can sign in with that login information, maybe to renew my driver's license.
Sometimes we like this stuff when it makes our life easier, but sometimes it's nerve-wracking when you worry about.
It's almost like technology is a tool, just like fire, where it can be good and it can be bad, and it depends how you use it.
It's almost like that. Greg Swan, we love these monthly visits. You're going to join us at the State Fair, I think.
Cannot wait.
Excellent. Thanks, Greg. You can
See you
follow
on the
Greg
internet.
on the internet at Greg Swan on X. It's on all of the things, and he did shout out his Substack, which is called
so the Cave Project,
The
that
Cave
Substack,
Project.
we did a full podcast episode on clankers. If you want to hear me bleep myself saying clanker,
check it out.
come on out.
Nate Burleson, you know him from CBS This Morning, maybe from Hollywood Squares, former Minnesota Viking. He joins us in just a minute to talk about a new project he's working on and gives a little bit of a hot take on the new Vikings quarterback. We'll talk with Nate in just a minute here on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
When's the last time you've been to the dermatologist? And when's the last time you tried to make an appointment? It's Jason here. I was just talking to a friend yesterday. Her boyfriend was trying to get an appointment. And it was going to take until February to get in at a dermatologist. Tureen Dermatology is, I've never heard of any other dermatologist in the area doing this, but they save appointments for you. So you are guaranteed to get in within 3 weeks. 3 weeks. That is awesome. How do they do it? They have more than 25 board certified and they prioritize it. They want to take care of you when you need to see them. Now they want you to plan ahead and make an appointment for a full body skin checkup. Mine is coming up in October. I do it once a year. But if you have something that needs attention, they need to see you. Tureen Dermatology, TAREEN dermatology.com. You can book your appointment right online. I go to Roseville. They're new in Eagan. They're new in Lakeville. They've only been in Hudson for a year. They're near you. So get to that website, Tureen, TAREEN dermatology.com.
It's August, so naturally there's nothing going on.
2 states of emergencies, I think, in the last 4 months. As someone who lives in St. Paul, you just kind of shake your head. What is going on?
No news, no sports, no hot takes.
It is disgusting out there, and I blame Canada.
Come on, it's absolutely nothing month, right? Good thing we didn't get the memo.
We are 100% wasting an MVP contending type season from Byron Buxton.
News doesn't take the month off. Neither do we. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Washburn McCreevy Funeral Chapels and Cremation Services has been providing compassionate and personalized service for over 160 years. Honor your loved one and ensure your own wishes are met. Call 612-377-2203 or visit washburnmccreevy.com.
One call, that's all. It's Chris Lindahl, and that's my promise to you. When you call us about getting a guaranteed cash offer on a house, you take a huge step toward getting a fresh start in life. Make the call today at 763-401-SOLD or go to chrislindahl.com.
612 Saturdays are back at Target Field. Enjoy $6 drinks, $1 snacks, and $2 food when gates open.
I'm from the 952. Can I enjoy 612 Saturdays?
The 952 is welcome.
I'm from the 218.
218, 651. Everyone is 612 Saturdays.
I'm from the 313. How about me?
That's Detroit.
Yeah.
Sure. Enjoy the weekend wind-up with 612 Saturdays presented by Carbliss. $6 drinks, $1 snacks, and $2 food. When we're together, the Twins rise as one. Join in at twins.com/tickets.
If you have trees to trim or need tree removal, call an ISA certified arborist. Call the CCO Land Company I use. B&M Tree Service, 1-800-569-9034. Or get on the web, bnmtree.com.
Hi, I'm Adam Saba, third generation at Dodge of Burnsville. As a business owner, you need commercial vehicles that have the power you need, room for your gear, and service you can count on. Let me introduce you to Business Link at Dodge of Burnsville. We have a complete line of commercial vehicles to get you and your crew on the job, and an award-winning service department that is second to none and gives you peace of mind. Stop in today and see why nobody sells more commercial Ram trucks than Dodge of Burnsville. That's why we are the King of Ram, just off Cliff Road and 35W or kingofram.com.
If you have doubts about your retirement readiness, listen to the Retirement Reality Report with Mark Dillon and David Linsky of L3 Family Wealth Partners. Join the Linskys Saturday mornings at 11 right here on WCCO.
Do you know what the scariest sound to hear in a factory floor is? Silence. That means something somewhere broke. Production has stopped, and now you're paying your workers to wait while the team troubleshoots and tries to fix the problem. Finally, there's a proactive way to reduce equipment downtime, thanks to MaintainX. MaintainX is the asset management system that brings your maintenance downtime to zero. MaintainX lets you build preventative maintenance schedules, manage work orders in real time, and access the data you need to make better decisions. Downtime equals death in the production world, so make unplanned downtime a thing.
Can do this. All right, now I got my microphone on. Hi, everybody on the stream. I am going to play the interview that I did with Nate Burleson from the Google Meet. So we did an online interview earlier this morning. So I'm going to play it for you guys. So it'll be a little different than what we're hearing on the air. It doesn't really matter to you, but that way it'll make more sense and look better. But Nate is the host of CBS This Morning, one of the co-hosts. He does NFL Today. He hosts the Hollywood Squares. But he's launched a new vodka, a flavored vodka, Lion's Blood Orange, with Valentine Distilling, which is in Detroit. But he's coming to Minneapolis, to Certic's on Saturday, and Haskell's on Saturday afternoon in White Bear Lake. So pretty cool stuff. And Nate is a great guy, and you're going to enjoy the interview. So it'll be sound a little weird, but don't worry about it. All right, CCO forecast brought to you by Gutman Law, Wills Trust and Probate Law, GutmanLaw.com. Here is Chris Schaefer.
Mostly cloudy sky tonight, 68 the overnight low. I'll be watching a line of showers with a few thunderstorms moving from west to east overnight. I think it's just scattered showers tomorrow morning here in the metro. Mostly cloudy by day, a few showers possible again late tomorrow night. 83 will be the high tomorrow, 88 and humid Thursday, 91 and humid on Friday.
Right now, it is 81 in Woodbury on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
DeRusha, he has the.
Yep. And now I'm on the radio, and I'm under the stairs in my basement recording my own interview. I mean, this is how it happens, Nate. You can be on top of the world, being driven around, and in morning, the big fame of morning news, and next thing you know, you're doing an interview in your basement.
But still doing a quality job, though.
We try.
That's what it's all about, Jay. That's what it's all about.
Right. Hey, I am a food writer and a food critic, and we're going to air this in our food segment that we do.
Okay.
Because I am a huge fan of the distillery that you teamed up with. They're Mayor Pingree. Yeah, Mayor Pingree is one of my favorite whiskeys. I think they just do terrific work. And your vodka is delicious. I tasted it last night. It's really nice.
Thank you.
So many celebrities kind of get in the spirit game now.
Yeah.
What motivated you to want to do something special and do it in Detroit?
All right. So I'm originally from Seattle. When I was playing and living in Seattle at the time, when I would go to the liquor store, I was always trying to support local brands. And there was a Jimi Hendrix vodka. Jimi Hendrix spent some time in Seattle, and I was fascinated by how it looked aesthetically. It was beautiful, had the purple hints and tones to it with Jimmy and this guitar, and it tasted so good. But then when I would travel, I would never see it on the shelves. This was when I was in the beginning stages of doing my own research about regional and local spirits. So I figured out that Jimi Hendrix Estate released this only in Washington. And even though the estate, one side of the estate, got into it with the other side, and they had actually pulled it off the shelves, I realized how successful a local brand can be, because even though when I traveled outside of Washington, I didn't see it, but when I went to clubs and bars and people's homes, they always had it on the shelves. So when I played for the Detroit Lions, I wanted to do it. I was like, all right, I want to launch a liquor brand here in Michigan. I love Michigan. It was like my final years in the NFL, and I started to apply for this process with a few different people. And one guy saw me, and he probably saw Mark. He's like, I'm going to upcharge whatever it costs to start a brand, and I'm going to tell Nate it's going to cost him $400,000-$500,000. And then I went to my people, started talking to people in the space. They're like, no, that guy's going to rip you off. So that left a sour taste in my mouth. And then on the flip side, the NFL at that time, they didn't really like players starting brands, working with brands, unless it was directly through the brands that they were working with. You're picking up what I'm putting down, right?
Yeah.
Unless
it was different. They didn't want you doing your own. They didn't want you to be your own brand. They didn't want to have an argument with one of their sponsors or partners.
Exactly. So I left, retired. It just was one of those things that irked me. You know, I'm a casual drinker, and I see all these brands popping up every once in a while. I said, you know what, Nate, stop having this regret. You know what? Start to explore it again in Michigan. Screw it. At the very least, you'll enjoy the process. So I reached out to a few different brands, distilleries, and companies. And Valentine, they were the only ones to hit me back that saw the vision. And then when I met with Rufino in person, he was checking my pulse, to be honest with you. He's like, what are you in it for? Why are you here? Why do you want to do this? What do you know about this space? Do you understand it's competitive? What are you going to bring to the table outside of some name that used to play here? And I answered all those questions confidently. And he realized at that moment that he had a partner. And then we just got to know each other. And it took us about a year and a half, maybe 2 years of figuring out what we wanted to look like, taste like, smell like. I flew out there 5 or 6 times to just sample the earlier batches.
That many times.
Yeah, and I didn't double dip. It wasn't like I was going out there to go see a Lions game or to go visit friends or party and like, oh, let me just pop by. No, I went in there specifically to meet with him and didn't tell anybody else that I was coming in town. And that's because I sincerely wanted him to know that I'm in it for the right reasons. And that's why I believe the flavor profile, how we made it, and why we made it, it just works so well. So the story of how we got here, it really makes me proud that I'm in it for the right reasons. And of course, we're going to build inside out. If it's very successful, we'll continue to make it in Michigan and provide jobs in Michigan. But then if there's opportunities outside of Michigan, Minnesota, in Chicago, and then we work Midwest to the rest of the nation, we'll do it. But right now, we want to keep it regional.
Yeah, Nate Burleson is with us, coming to Minnesota this weekend to sample his new vodka. He'll be at Surdyk's on Saturday in the afternoon, and then a little later at Haskell's in White Bear Lake. Two great family-owned liquor stores too. I love that. Like, you really just this is a smaller operation. You could have gone with a giant company. You could have licensed your name. You could have done that. I just have such respect the fact that you really went through the tasting process, and that the guys at Valentine put you through theirs. Like, so this is not. Yeah, this is. Tell me how you landed on Blood Orange, because that's the dominant.
It's a play on words. I am a Leo. I look at myself as a lion, and I've kind of like walked with this tagline of conquer your jungle in any space that you're in, not just an athlete. You can work in media, you can be a politician, you can be a dancer, a rapper, a writer, whatever profession it is, just chase your craft diligently and conquer your jungle. So I wanted to do something that played on the way I looked at the world. So Lion Blood, I had an old clothing line. It was called Lion Blood Clothing. I'm like, all right, I love citrus flavored vodkas, but I don't often see blood orange and many flavors that taste well. I knew that blood orange is a unique fruit because it can be very sweet, it can be very tart, it can be sour, it can have a strong, sharp finish. It could also have a very light, sweet, delayed note at the end. If we landed on the perfect complexities of blood orange, adding in elderflower, making it with all natural ingredients, we can make something special. And that's how we did it. So it's Lion Blood Orange Vodka. Blood orange runs smooth with Lion Blood Orange, but also I just feel like it's a unique flavor profile.
I want to hang on 1 second because I think you're
going
through the tunnel.
Yeah, I'm going through the tunnel. I'm at the tail end. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's right up here. But if you didn't hear the tail end of that, I said that it's just a play on words. Lion Blood Orange Vodka. Blood orange isn't a flavor that you see often, let alone taste often. That kind of makes sense when it dances on the tongue.
And it is you mentioned it's a little bit of a tricky flavor to work with. So it's not too tart, it's not too overwhelming, and there's a balance. There's a little bit of sweetness that comes from an elderflower in here too, which I think is cool. What the tasting process, did you have to dial it up, dial it down to get it just right?
Yeah, very much so. Because the whole Valentine crew knew that I love citrus flavors, and this was going to be something that I wanted to taste. The initial ones were heavy on the citrus, and I didn't want the citrus to overcomplicate what could be a smooth finish. I wanted it to be light enough to where you can drink it straight on the rocks, add a little bit of soda, but also heavy enough to where you can mix it and it still stands on its own with other mixers. But when I first got there, we went heavy on the citrus, and immediately I tasted it. And it's funny, Rufino, my partner, he was in there the first couple of times that I flew into Detroit, and he's just looking at me as I'm sipping it. And I'm like, this ain't it. And he's like, I'm glad you said that, because that's how I feel. And then we tasted another one, and I'm like, this is good. Just it's not exactly where I wanted to be. This particular day, we had 3 different versions of it. And then he handed me number 2, small little glass bottle. It said test number 2 on it. And as I'm taking a sip, he's staring at me. And I smelled it, of course, to get that profile of the nose and the notes. And then once I took a sip, I looked at him, he looked at me, and we both nodded our head. This is it. And then I was like, do you have ice in here? Because this is warm sitting on the shelf. Let me taste this on the rocks. And once I did that, I was set. Because to me, the mark of a good drink is that you can drink it alone by itself, sip slow, and it doesn't dissipate with the ice, or and it doesn't lose its structure. when you want to sip it alone. And also, it doesn't burn your throat. Let's just keep it real.
Right.
That we're out at a restaurant or a bar or even a club, if that's still your thing. And after a few drinks, you're like, why is my throat on fire? I did not want our drink to be like that. And that's why I partnered with Valentine, because this is a high quality award winning brand that stands on the old school morals of this spirit space.
Nate Burleson is with us. His new vodka is Valentine Lion Blood Orange, and he'll be in the Twin Cities this weekend sampling it, signing bottles, all of that. Obviously, your time here in Minnesota as a member of the Minnesota Vikings, makes sense that you'll come here and bring this. You're coming to town on our first preseason game.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, I assume you're as curious as we are as to how the new sort of rookie quarterback is going to be.
Yeah, he definitely is a rookie. I was always taught until you play 4 games, you're going to be a rookie. I remember playing an entire season, and they were like, no. You're still a rookie until you play 4 games into your sophomore season. I'm like, what kind of sense does that make? This was back when old school vets were really old school vets, and Hazen was perfectly fine. But for him, he's going to have to get through this rookie year. I know on paper he's a sophomore, but this is going to be a big season for him. Listen, the division is absolutely loaded. The Lions, they are the king of the jungle right now. We know the Bears retooled. Caleb Williams is going to have to step up. And hearing some mixed reviews on how he's doing in training camp. Of course, the Green Bay Packers with a healthy Jordan Love, like they're always comparable when it comes to competition. But the Vikings, J.J. McCarthy, J.J. Jefferson, Jay Jettas, he's going to have to be handcuffed to the hip of his wide receiver. Usually it's the wideout and tight end that are handcuffed to the veteran quarterback, saying, hey, let's go out to dinner. What's your favorite pair of shoes I can buy you? Do you want me to send you on a vacation? Because I need 140 balls this year. But it's going to have to be J.J. McCarthy that is going to have to take out his tight end, take out his wide receiver, get to know them, stay after practice, watch film together, because life is going to come at you fast, young fella. And I hope he's successful. Listen, you don't move guys around. You don't get rid of individuals that had a successful season unless you are completely confident in your young QB. And then on the defense side of the ball, they just have to win in the trenches. I believe the division is based on being strong up front and then making the big plays in the air and minimizing those mistakes when you throw the ball.
Yeah, I give the Vikings credit. I would have expected this maybe to be sort of like, all right, this is going to be a growing, building year with the rookie quarterback. But they made moves in the offseason that said, like, nope, we're going to win with this kid. So,
yeah, and that's it. And give O'Connell credit and this whole staff. Like, by the way, I know that there was a vote that they were one of the best staffs in the NFL. I think maybe even number one. He has put together a group of men that can not only challenge their players, but then also criticize when need be. It's one thing to say, I need the best football out of you. But when are you going to have a coach that can grab you by your jersey when you are screwing up, look you in your eyes, and say, I need you to be better? Because right now, you are effing up. Like, I love that. And some people say, I don't like my coach to be that brash. And I don't think that type of language is necessary in sports. It absolutely is. Listen, some guys can coach themselves. And the $1 million price tags that they have over their heads is merely just a salary. They don't need any extra motivation. But then there's other guys that are immature young men. They're teenagers with money. And you have to coach guys differently. One thing I love about O'Connell is that he understands that. He treats everybody the same, but he understands he has to coach certain guys differently.
Do you still have that in your life? I mean, as a broadcaster, you in the news space now, obviously the game show has been added into the mix. Like you are doing so many different things. And I just wonder, like, do you have that person who's like, yep, Nate, like you got to do this, or you got to step this up?
Yeah, no, I do. That's a great question, by the way. I have many mentors, some in the news space, some in the sports space, and then also in the entertainment space. And every time I meet someone that I either admire, look up to, or just respect the work they put in, I put them on the list. Even at the
product, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form, and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand name at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Brought to you by American Cancer Society. You can find a stall into the right lane, East 94 at Huron Boulevard, making for a slow ride. You come out of Minneapolis. West 94 is jammed up as well as you come in from 280 toward the downtown stretch. East 36 beyond Snelling, stall in a bad spot. That has things backed up to 35W. The American Cancer Society is making strides against breast cancer by walking in celebration of courage and hope. You're ready to join the largest, most impactful breast cancer movement in the country? Join today by signing up at makingstrideswalk.org. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jordana Green here. I pray you and your family are always safe. But if there's ever a time where you need an advocate after an accident, let Mike Bryant of Bradshaw and Bryant help you. He will work with and for you in dealing with the insurance company. Call 800-770-7008 today. Bradshaw and Bryant, seeking justice for the injured.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, CCO forecast from Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys. And tonight, pretty uneventful, cloudy, low of 68. Tomorrow, showers early, cloudy all day, showers late, high of 83. And then Thursday, we start to get close to 90 and hot and humid through the weekend. Right now, as we congratulate Roger in St. Paul, who just won that 4-pack of tickets to Saturday against the Royals, it is 81 on CCO.
Hear about it. Add your voice to the mix. The CCO talk and text line 651-461-9226.
Let's take the truth of your Minnesota Twins. Brought to you by Chef IQ Sense. Get your wireless new thermometer now at chefiq.com.
Temp of the team is cold. The Twins struggled last night. Detroit is good, and Detroit won 6-3 tonight. Who's pitching for us? Zebby Matthews, I think. And so,
Zebby Matthews pitching for the Twins, pitching for the Detroit Tigers, one Chris Paddock.
Oh, that's tonight.
That's tonight.
Right. So that'll be fun.
Yep.
That'll be worth listening to hear how that goes. Nate Burleson, such a great conversation that we have with Nate. And in fact, Dan uploaded the whole conversation to.
You can take credit. That's fine.
Well, you weren't down in the closet under my stairs.
You're right, I wasn't.
8:30 this morning when I talked to the Nate Burleson. So search DeRusha Eats, the DeRusha Eats podcast. Nate and I talk a little bit more about accountability in the NFL. We talk about how a dermatologist visit in his early days in New York changed his life. A lot of good stuff with Nate. Super nice guy. So check that out. Search DeRusha Eats wherever you get podcasts. Should we do a full show tomorrow? Probably not.
No, they're on during the day, so we'll be a little bit late.
Twins day game. Enjoy the game. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
At JoeBrothersConstruction.com, you can get a free roof replacement quote in 30 seconds just by entering